So we'd go pick up the films, we'd bring it to VJTI, we'd set up this projector, learn how to thread the film, and run the film. That's what was the magic for me. It's a tangible thing. You can hold on to it, and you can actually use it. You can thread it through something, and then you can see it.
As an artist, what's your instinct? Would you want to do a play first or a movie first?
That I would have such choice कि ये करूँ या वो करूँ.
And आप Instagram पे नहीं हो, right?
नहीं, अभी नहीं.
इसलिए आप meditate. आपको ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ती है, हमें पड़ती.
आपका तो काम भी Instagram वाला है ना.
अर्जुन
की आँख सब लोग बोलते हैं कि एक ही लक्ष्य होना चाहिए और उसी लक्ष्य पे ध्यान होना चाहिए और इतना फोकस होना चाहिए. मगर अर्जुन ने कितना कुछ मिस आउट कर दिया. इतना फोकस करने में पूरी दुनिया जो इतना सुंदर जंगल था उसके आसपास, वो तो देखा ही नहीं उसने.
I was watching the first episode of इधर उधर. इसमें the YouTube पे the first comment है क्योंकि माया साराभाई भी कभी मोनिशा थी.
Not a bad one.
Not a bad one. Yo guys, welcome to another episode of Audible Presents The Longest Interview. आज का मेरा episode है with Ratna Pathak Shah ma'am. She is one of my favorite human beings working in the film, entertainment and theatre industry. Ratna ma'am से मैंने बहुत सारी बातें की. It's always a pleasure to talk to her. I get to learn so much from her. उनके पास हर चीज़ के बारे में इतने प्यारे opinions होते हैं that मैं बच्चा बन के बस बैठ जाता हूँ and I just listen to her. So let's jump right inside the conversation I had with Ratna Pathak Shah. Hi Ratna ma'am, how are you?
बस मजे में, thank you.
मैम मेरे को आज आपसे बहुत सारी बातें करनी है एंड सबसे पहले मैं इस बात से चालू करना चाहता हूँ. एक स्कैम चल रहा है अभी विच इज़ कैपुचिनो एंड मैंने जब आपको मैसेज किया टी और कॉफ़ी प्रेफरेंसेस से रिलेटेड, आपने बहुत मस्त लाइन बोली, वेरी माया साराभाई लाइन, ऑल फ्रॉथ नो सब्सटेंस प्लीज डोंट गेट कैपुचिनो फॉर मी. डोंट यू लाइक व्हाट्स लाइक ये बिल्कुल सही बात बोली क्योंकि मैं तो जाके कैफेज में बोलता हूँ मेरे को बिना झाँक के दो, बिना झाँक के दो. इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम नो.
इट इज़ क्योंकि हम लोग ये भूल गए हैं कि शायद हम हमारे देश में ये बेचने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, बाहर नहीं. एंड यू नो ब्लैक एंड लाटे एंड ऑल दीज don't seem to make sense. Coffee means coffee. To me, frankly, coffee is filter coffee.
Nice.
जो उड़ीपी में मिलती है. That's the coffee I really, really love.
Yeah.
But cappuccino is a rip-off for sure. वो एक जो ऊपर से हार्ट सा बना के दे देते हैं ना, उसी से पता चल जाना चाहिए कि यहाँ अंदर कुछ नहीं है, ऊपर ही है सब कुछ.
When I say all froth no substance, what are some other things which come to your mind? It can be anything.
Don't start me off. There's just too long a list. But certainly, what can I say? At the risk of sounding like a very old woman, a lot of the music today sounds like a lot of froth, and I can't see the substance. I'm sort of still looking for it.
Yeah.
Western music as well as Indian. शायद मैंने सुना नहीं है enough. That is also always possible. क्योंकि my taste still runs to the kind of music and the kind of things I read and saw when I was younger.
Yeah.
तो उसी दिशा में क्या कहते हैं नज़र और दिल मुड़ जाता है. But movies also, quite a few of them. But more than froth, now it's in movies. एक ज़माने में वो बात सही थी कि froth and no substance. But movies में तो अब froth नहीं, पता नहीं क्या पत्थर लगते हैं, you know. I mean, how do you get past all that ugliness and weight and then reach nowhere really?
Yeah.
अंदर भी कुछ नहीं है.
Yeah.
और रास्ता इतना कठिन है.
Yeah.
तो I'm often dissatisfied.
और ये आपको इंडियन फिल्म्स के लिए ही लगता है या बाहर के फिल्म्स?
अरे नहीं, बाहर की फिल्में तो मैंने देखना ही छोड़ दिया. More or less. क्यों क्या मार्वल यूनिवर्स देखूंगी मैं. एंड जो दूसरी फिल्में हैं, आई हैव टू से यूरोपियन फिल्में कभी कभी मुझे कोई रेकमेंड करता है तो देख लेती हूँ. सिमिलरली द साउथ ईस्ट एशियन फिल्म्स. मगर आई हैवंट बीन एबल टू कनेक्ट टू द साउथ ईस्ट एशियन फिल्म्स इन द सेम वे दैट आई कनेक्ट विद the films that I've seen earlier.
Yeah.
अभी तक वो समझ में, a film like Parasite for example.
Yeah.
वो डेफिनेटली कनेक्ट कर पाती हूँ और उसको देख के लगता है कि यार ये कहानी हमने क्यों नहीं कही, ये तो हमारी कहानी है बिल्कुल. This amazing relationship that exists across our country between the served and the server. वो तो I mean that's space for so many stories. धीरे धीरे कुछ कुछ आई हैं.
Right.
Something like Konkona's film in Lust Stories.
Yes, it's amazing.
Now that kind of a thing definitely makes you think. And there's so many stories there.
Yeah.
I'm actually hoping that somebody will cast me as a Maharashtrian घर की काम वाली बाई. एक हुआ करती थी, एक आजी बाई काइंड ऑफ पर्सन इन ऑल आवर होम्स. मेरे घर में तो डेफिनेटली थी. नौवारी साड़ी पहनते हैं, वो 9 यार्ड की साड़ी. एंड there are such presences in the house. And they are so interesting as personalities because उन्होंने जो जो देखा है वो तो मेरे imagination के बाहर है in some cases. So very very interesting characters, almost all of the ones I've met. And lovely manner. शायद कोई ना कोई सुन रहे हैं ना आप लोग.
मैं अभी I was watching the first episode of इधर उधर and I have a few questions related to that. I liked it and उसमें पहला उसमें the YouTube पे the first comment है कि जैसे क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहुत ही होता है ना, क्योंकि माया सारा भाई भी कभी मोनिशा थी.
Not a bad one.
Not a bad one. But मैम उसमें लाफ ट्रैक इतना ज़्यादा है, मैं ऐसे घबरा गए. वो क्यों?
आप कौन से ज़माने की बात कर रहे हैं भाई, जरा ये भी तो सोच लो. नए नए सब लोग सीख रहे थे. नया मुल्ला जोर से बांग पुकारता है ना. तो इसीलिए हमको लगा कोई नहीं हंसेगा तो डालो यू नो, सबको बढ़ावा दो.
इसीलिए कह रही हूँ अगर लड़की रखेंगे ना तो 1000 ईगो प्रॉब्लम करेगी, लेकिन अगर लड़का होगा तो जरा स्माइल करो, चाय हाजिर, जरा प्यार से बोलो, सब काम कर देगा.
एंड दैट रियली वाज द पॉपुलर मोड एट दैट टाइम. जो सारी कॉमेडीज थी, दे यूज्ड टू हैव दिस रियली forced and very very unnatural laugh track. Even the western comedies, many of them, they started to get their act right after a point. हमको बहुत वक्त लगा. तो ये तो शुरुआत की थी. इधर उधर and ये जो है जिंदगी, and these were the very early comedies that were attempted. तो I suppose कुछ nervousness के मारे, कुछ दूसरों की देखा देखी में, पता नहीं, but it was an unpleasant soundtrack. And I've always found that bloody soundtrack unpleasant in comedies. अभी भी होता है वो. अभी सब अलग अलग चीजें डालते हैं. But the bottom line is you don't trust your material enough. आपको नहीं लगता कि हमको ऑटोमेटिकली हंसी आएगी? इतनी मदद की क्यों जरूरत पड़ रही है आपको?
How often do you hear people talk about that show?
Recently a lot more. I think मैं सब क्या कहते हैं, when we started इधर उधर, I don't think we were terribly popular. मतलब 13 episodes करके हम तो बंद ही हो गए. That was the end of that. So I don't think we were terribly popular. But over time, I think the audience has grown. I suppose आज के contrast में वो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. So उस वजह से भी लोग देख रहे हैं. But that's the case with Sarabhai as well. When we opened Sarabhai, as I never stop saying, we had a TRP of 0.63.
Okay.
And another comedy show on the same channel had a TRP of 9. And today Sarabhai is talked about, but that one isn't.
नाम
So zara, you know,
which one is this? ये Star One पे आता था?
हाँ, Star One पे आता था. It was comedy
Nights or something.
Something like that. ऐसा ही था. Comedy
Great
was
Indian Comedy Challenge.
Show. Great Indian Comedy something.
Oh, nice. So मैम, मैं आपसे एक और चीज़ जानना चाहता हूँ. आपने बताया कि मूवीज़ आप रिसेंटली यू डोंट सी अ लॉट ऑफ मटेरियल इन इट. आपको पुरानी मूवीज़ की आपने बात की. विच इज़ योर फर्स्ट मूवी वॉचिंग मेमोरी?
My first movie memory, let's put it like that, is an uncle of mine, a dentist, a very unhappy dentist, poor man. He didn't want to do that. मगर पापा ने force किया तो करना पड़ा. And he used to run a little informal children's club. He had a garage and an extra room on the ground floor. तो उसको उसमें a little children's club called Balodyan was set up. And we had everything. We had just that much space. We had no physical presence really. But we had all kinds of parents who joined in. Somebody who taught science in a school would run a little science club.
Yeah.
Somebody who sang Ravindra Sangeet did music classes with us. Somebody who knew how to make dolls did doll making. I mean, it was just a way for young kids जो इधर उधर भागते फिरते हैं, for them to use their energies in a somewhat more interesting manner.
Yeah.
And there was a drama club, of course, which of course my mother and my aunts and everyone piled in and ran. So there was that. Then there was a Anand Mela that would be held every year. के सब stalls लगाते थे और घर में बनी हुई चीजें ला के बेचते थे और end में collection जो होता था वो बालोद्यान को donate होता था. There was a sports club. We used to have a sports meet every year, etc. I mean, this was completely informally organized with no donations, with nothing except what we could rouse amongst the community. It was a true community experience.
Wow.
And one of the clubs we had was a movie club.
Nice.
So there was VJTI Institute that loaned us their hall. So every alternate Sunday, we would watch movies there. And there'd be children's films. So as we grew a little older, then we were given the responsibility of locating the film, getting it from the various places, Films Division में या Children's Film Society से या any of the, USIS and Russian Center, etc. British Council, जो लोग हमको अपनी films देना, they used to trust us with their films. So we'd go pick up the films, we'd bring it to VJTI, we'd set up this projector, learn how to thread the film and run the film.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's what was the magic for me of movies.
Yeah.
That it's a tangible thing. You can hold on to it and you can actually use it. You can thread it through something and then you can see it. So that part of it became the real magic for me, rather than ever being completely blown away by the storytelling. वो जो लोग कहते हैं ना एक एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ फिल्म देख करके एकदम चकाचौंध हो गए, वो शायद मुझे कभी हुआ नहीं until much later. So those were my early experiences of seeing those children's films. And one of the films there really made a huge impact on me. It was called I Bought a Daddy. And it was a film, a Russian film, about this young boy who has lost his father in the war. And his mother keeps telling him that he'll come back. बहुत छोटा सा बच्चा है. So he decides one day to go out shopping for a dad because he sees a shop with mannequins. He says, इसमें तो मिलना चाहिए एक dad. So his journey on that one day when he's going shopping for a father. It's such a sweet film. And it's shot entirely from the eye level of a 7-year-old boy. Entire film is at that level. It's just extraordinary. And it was such a moving experience. And that little boy's face, I can still remember it. मुझे याद नहीं कि एंड में होता क्या है, उसको डैड मिलता है कि नहीं, but it didn't matter. That whole journey was so extraordinary. But इस तरह की बहुत सारी फिल्में हम लोगों ने देखी थी. And then my aunt and uncle used to run a movie club called Suchitra. It was among the first movie clubs. Film Federation of India एक हुआ करता था. They used to have regular screenings and Suchitra would have regular screenings in our side of town. I grew up in Dadar. So चित्रा सिनेमा में screenings होती थी. All kinds of European films. मैंने I suppose माँ जाती थी देखने तो मुझे साथ ले जाती थी. So I must have ended up seeing everything. मुझे कुछ समझ में तो आया नहीं. But I just saw everything. And I don't know how it has affected me or built my taste or I don't know what. But later when I saw a film like Battleship Potemkin, that really blew me away. That's when I first started understanding the power and the magic of movies. To tell stories of this kind. And then of course I saw Rashomon and that was I can think of Ratna before Rashomon and Ratna after Rashomon. Things changed so dramatically inside my own head. As far as movies are concerned.
How old were you when you watched Rashomon?
I was in college, first, second year, something like that.
I asked this question to everyone. What's the BC to AD event of your life when the calendar restarted? Was it the BC to AD event of your life?
As far as movies goes, maybe yes.
Yeah.
But there are many BC to ADs
Yeah.
in various aspects of my life. So yeah, but this definitely.
Nice.
Rashomon was one of those.
And मैम ये जो आपने earlier film club का बताया, you also like went and got those films.
Yeah.
ये इसके बारे में मेरे को जानना है लेकिन आप तो ओजी चलचित्र टॉक से लाइक हम जो अभी कर रहे हैं you were doing it then कि मैं डिसाइड करूँगी which film.
Not quite मैं decide करूँगी. There was a whole bunch of elders who said कि
Yeah.
ये picture जाके लानी है.
Yeah.
And then one elder would go with us.
Yeah.
But the whole process of going and acquiring, and it was tins in those days. It wasn't your little DVDs कि जो pocket में डाल के ले आओ. हाँ. It was a tin, nice. जो डब्बे 3-4 डब्बे भर के लाते थे हम लोग. And it felt so nice carrying those boxes. You know, those round, lovely celluloid cinema reel wale boxes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a different thing altogether.
It's reminding me of this documentary Cinema Travelers. I don't know if you have seen it. उसमें like in villages there is this truck which goes और वो project. It's beautiful.
Yep, we used to do some plays like that also. Once in a while. Truck में सब कुछ लाद के जाओ. बस्ती में drop one side of the truck down. The platform of the truck becomes your stage and you perform.
Yeah.
This is something my mother did when she was younger in 1940s. When they used to tour with IPTA and with the Central Ballet Troupe, which was the dance company that IPTA had. The Communist Party ki IPTA was the theatre wing and CBT, Central Ballet Troupe, was the dance and music wing. So they would travel all around the country like that.
Yeah.
So Ma has great stories to tell of these trucks where एक side नीचे करके नाटक करते थे.
Yeah. And जितनी मैंने आपसे बात किया, I know that like you really love plays and theatre also, but is it fair to say you like it more than movies?
No, it's a very complicated situation. If I'm given the choice of between watching a good movie and a good film, a good play, my instinct would be to choose the good play first.
Wow.
Though I would love to watch the good movie also. But my natural instinct seems to be towards the good play. But there's the rub, catch. कि good plays बहुत कम मिलते हैं देखने को. Good movies ज़्यादा मिलती हैं.
Right. Right.
Access to good plays बहुत ही limited है.
Yeah.
I mean, अव्वल तो हमारे देश में ही जो हो रहा है वो ही नहीं देख पाते हम एक दूसरे का काम.
Right. Right. Right.
And often the work is, how shall I put it, interesting in intent, but not necessarily in execution. Execution often leaves a lot to be desired. और वो बड़ी, I find it unbearable to watch a bad play.
Have you walked out of plays?
I have once in a while, but I don't like to do that because that's unfair. I wouldn't like it done to me. But I have to say sometimes I've just not been able to take it.
Yeah. And
I find it very, very hard to watch a bad play. I can watch a bad film a little more easily, but bad play देखने में मुझे बहुत तकलीफ होती है.
And as an artist, ये तो आपने as a viewer बताया कि you kind of choose a play first over a movie. As an artist, what's your instinct? Would you want to do a play first or a movie first?
That I would have such choice कि ये करूँ या वो करूँ. But no, I think play wins largely on the basis of the text. The text you come across in a play, when you are doing the play, the material you are using, जो शब्द हैं, जो विचार हैं, वो मुझे ज़्यादा attractive लगते हैं. जिस तरह की फिल्मों में मैंने काम किया है, of course, I've enjoyed all of them and I've really liked some of them very, very much. But I can't say they give me the kind of satisfaction that speaking good lines gives me. So it's a different kind of satisfaction. And I really like that.
I'm very fascinated. जब मैं आपसे last time मिला था, it was also my birthday when I had come to meet you with Vani. I tried to understand from you and I'm still like trying to understand. जब हम एक play करते हैं and same lines बार बार, मान लो आपका 5 बजे एक शो है, फिर एक 8 बजे शो है, how do you get that dopamine every time doing the same lines 3 घंटे बाद ही फिर हर वीकेंड कर रहे हो, so वो न्यूनेस कहाँ आती है, like where is the dopamine coming from?
I suppose from the audience, to put it most simply, because the audience is changing every time. And you are seeing and reacting and doing things, at least the kind of theatre we try to do. We're trying to look at it afresh every time we perform. We make a conscious effort not to do a imitation, a copy, a repetition.
Right.
And it's easy to do that with a good play. It's very easy to do that. अगर आप शॉ की लाइनें बोल रहे हैं या इसमें चुगताई की लाइनें बोल रहे हैं, तो आपको हर लाइन में कुछ नई चीज़ मिलती है. हर बार जब बोलो उसको तब नई चीज़ मिलती है.
Wow.
Which is not the same in a play which is a average melodramatic kind of play, you know, which are frankly the larger number of plays are exactly that. हम लोग जिस तरह का थिएटर करते हैं वो बहुत ही I feel that we are extraordinarily blessed. Okay, one, we do the plays that we want to do, that we connect with intellectually, emotionally, in every way. Two, we don't do it every night. Three, we don't do it only for the money. So we get to choose where we do it and how often we do it.
Right.
And we work with a bunch of people that we really enjoy working with. ये इस तरह का combination and people who are on the same page as actors. So all of us are working in the same direction.
Yeah.
Now that is an extraordinary, क्या कहते हैं, extraordinarily fortunate situation. सबको ऐसा नहीं मिलता थिएटर में.
Yeah.
On the contrary, जो आम थिएटर प्रोफेशनल्स हैं वो तो काफ़ी मीडियोकर नाटक रोज करते हैं और लिटरली रोज करते हैं. एक ज़माना था जब मराठी नाटक बहुत ज़ोरों पे थे, तब एक ही नाटक के 3 शो हुआ करते थे. एंड ऑन द सेम डे, एवरी डे. It was like doing a movie, except you're real human beings.
Yeah.
So of course then it becomes mechanical and it becomes the same. You don't have time to think.
Yeah.
अगर आप कुछ नया करना भी चाहो तो आपको मौका नहीं मिलने वाला.
True.
So that is a different kind of theatre. Whether it is in India or it is in the West, professional theatre is very, very...
Yeah.
What's the word I'm looking for? Very, very predictable most of the time. It's a very rare play that you find that makes you sit up and take notice in that kind of theatre. By definition, it's like that. क्यों रोज कैसे सेम इंसान कैसे नया कुछ कर पाए? हम लोग वैसा नाटक नहीं करते ना. हमारा थिएटर बहुत शौकिया है एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो.
Absolutely. And what's your opinion of these musicals, these grand Lion Kings and all? Have you seen?
Lion King is an exception. I think that's an absolutely brilliantly imaginative play. And it uses puppetry and it uses performance in a way that is like when I first saw it, I'd never seen anything like that before.
Where had you seen it?
I saw it in London and it really blew me away. One, by the simplicity of it, the opening effect. Usually the big musicals, I usually get bored within the first 5 minutes because they just give away all the big effects, da-da-dum, ba-ba-bum, all lighting me and music me and dance me and everything. So you say, okay, now I've got to do 2 more hours of the same thing. On the other hand, this play, and it's in the regular big musicals, there's so much technique involved in everything. And here is this huge stage. Of course, there's a big set and everything. But the opening effect is the most deliciously simple effect. It's the sunrise. And they use, one of those Japanese, the round paper ball lights that everyone has.
Yeah.
Every college student has that in their room, right? So that, except that it was just cut out like that. And that whole thing just unfolds. And that's the sun rising. And then the lights come on and the first note of music. Oof, I can't tell you what a special moment that was. It was extraordinary. And the gazelles and the way in which the actors manipulated the puppets while they were speaking. And it's extraordinary because you're seeing the actor, the live human being, manipulating this smaller puppet in front of them, particularly the meerkat and the वो कौन है warthog and इस तरह के जो characters थे सब छोटे वाले. So they had Simba and the Mustafa and all that as human beings playing those roles. But these were puppets. But there were actors in neutral kind of clothes matching their character. They were manipulating these puppets all the time, and they were doing the singing and the dance and the talking and everything. And as an audience, I seldom looked at them. I was only looking at the puppet. It was only later that it struck me, what must it be to be an actor like that?
Wow.
कि मैं performance कर रही हूँ पूरा, लेकिन मेरी तरफ कोई नजर भी नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि मैं जो दिखा रही हूँ यहाँ वो significant है, मेरा puppet significant है.
Yeah.
That strength, that ability to to distance yourself from the character
Yeah.
is quite extraordinary in that production. That is a fabulous production. उसके छोड़ मुझे नहीं लगता. War Horse, that was another really, really fine production, musical. But in दोनों के छोड़, I don't think I've seen a musical that has made a major impact on me. I've been impressed by Phantom of the Opera and Cats and things like that. Good fun.
Yeah.
But it's not the kind of thing that I would go out of my way to see.
Have you seen any of the plays at NMAC? Mamma Mia or...
No, I haven't seen those. No.
Yeah. But have you been to NMAC? Have you seen
We've performed in the studio, but I haven't been to the big theatre.
the Grand Theatre they
No, I
have?
haven't been there.
It's amazing the way that... But वो इतना महंगा है, मेरे को डर लग 12-15 हज़ार की एक टिकट है. Like, dude, how...
खरीदने वाले लोग हैं इस शहर में.
Yeah.
दूर-दूर से आते हैं लोग देखने.
Yeah. In fact, my brother told me कि some of the plays happening at NMAC are better than the plays he had seen in New York and London. I'm like, what are you saying? Have you seen Cursed Child, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Life of Pi? These are also some which are said कि यार ये भी देखने चाहिए with like Lion King.
As I said, they leave me cold. I'm not one of those people. In fact, theatre in the West so far, whatever little I have seen, has really left me cold. I've been deeply disappointed. मतलब maybe 3 or 4 productions I can think of which really, Lion King and War Horse being 2 of them. So बाकी 2-4 ही और सूझ रहे हैं मुझे जो कि सचमुच impactful मुझे लगे.
Yeah.
But I first went to London in 1977. My dad told me that if I get good marks, first class, in my SSC examination, I'll be given a ticket to go to London.
Wow.
So I got good marks. And I was given a ticket. But I was given the cheapest possible ticket in the winter. So London in the winter is about the most depressing thing in this world. And I was staying with a friend who was at college all day long. So I had the whole day to myself to do nothing. So I decided to see plays. And I discovered that you could queue up early in the morning and get a very good ticket from the returns for £1 at the National Centre, at the National Theatre. So I'd just get into the first early morning train and go and stand in queue at NT and wait for my ticket and get a ticket. So I ended up seeing some 6 or 7 productions. As it happened, that was a fabulous season. And all the greats were performing, except for Olivier. Unko chhod. Gielgud was doing Yahoo. Ralph Richardson and Alec Guinness. No, Alec Guinness was doing Yahoo. Gielgud and Richardson were doing No Man's Land. John Mills was doing Separate Tables. And there was Tom Stoppard's Jumpers on at the same time. So I was there for a month and I saw all of them and I was and for £1 each. So I was totally excited about the whole thing. But I was so disappointed in the quality of the plays. I was impressed with the professionalism and the sets and the lights and the smoothness with which things operated. I was very impressed with that. But none of the plays or the performances made any real impact on me. Maybe I was too young and stupid, very likely. Or maybe it's the nature of this kind of theatre in the West, where you are doing it for a large public every night. So there's a certain mechanized quality that comes into it शायद. I don't know, कुछ तो मुझे बहुत खटका और मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा. I like the mess we have here. उसमें बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा काम भी नहीं करते हम लोग, मगर जब अच्छा करते हैं तो साला सचमुच unusual and अच्छा करते हैं. And with such few resources. मुझे उसमें बहुत मज़ा आता है.
Lovely. Currently I'm reading this book. There's a filmmaker Mike Nichols who used to do play also with Ellen May. So I have read 1/4 of it and वहाँ पे उनके improv के बारे में बातें हैं and it's blowing my mind. Improv के बारे में जैसे I didn't know कि improv में एक rule होता है कि let's say you and I are doing improv और अगर मैंने बोल दिया पर वो हमारी जो लाल गाड़ी थी वो कहाँ गई, so the other person has to
pick it up.
Yeah, वो ये नहीं बोल सकता हमारे पास लाल गाड़ी तो है ही नहीं. Now the लाल गाड़ी exists. And I'm like ये कितना fascinating है. And कुछ इसमें वो भी होता है ना, ऑडियंस को आप देख के बोलते हो give us a word and it changes. Do you have like
I have never done that kind of work. In fact, that's one of the big areas जो मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि मेरे में एक कमी जो रह गई है वो इस तरह का spontaneous improvisation करने की कमी definitely. When I was younger, I was just too terrified to do anything like that. NSD में बहुत ऐसा कुछ करवाया जाता था, but without, how shall I say, without putting it into context and making me understand what is going to be what am I going to get out of this? So what usually happened in an improvisation situation, and which I've seen over and over again till date, what happens in an improvisation situation which is unguided and unstructured in some form, what happens then is that the improvisation becomes a series of smart lines. And whosoever can come up with the smartest line is the one who sort of, pushes the improvisation in that direction.
Very nice, yeah.
Does that give you a sense of how to deal with context?
No.
Because whenever we perform, unless you're doing something like this as an improv for an audience, that's a different thing altogether. What's the क्या नाम था? Whose line is it? Type का नहीं होता था television पे कि एक जुमला आपको कहीं से दे and everyone comes up and improvises. So that kind of thing is a different kettle of fish. मगर जिस तरह का performance हमसे expected है, now that kind of performance cannot be done in this manner.
Fair.
Or at least not finally in this manner. You can use this process for prep. But this cannot be what you put in front of a paying audience. That's what I feel. I think there has to be some honing. There has to be some organization. And even in a program like Whose Line Is It Anyways, I'm 100% sure that half of that is scripted.
Yeah.
I know for sure that a lot of the comedy shows, stand-up comedy shows, are scripted. I mean, even our, leaders in these days seem to be on Comedy Central doing scripted comedy shows all over the place. I mean, they seem to be, their speeches now sound like that. अपने दिल से कोई नहीं बोल रहा आजकल.
एक line है ना, best improvisation is practiced.
Always. That's why I cannot understand. I can understand the use of improvisation as a preparatory technique. Very, very useful and really frees up your mind and body.
Yeah.
But as a final presentation, I'm not sure about. And finally, what I think improvisation really helps you to move towards is to use your imagination to the best of its ability. And that is what is the actor's job. To use her imagination in a way that average people don't want to. Yeah. You can use your imagination in the way a good actor does, but you have not bothered to go in that direction, right? Any one of us can.
Yeah.
But that effort that is needed to be able to continuously use your imagination again and again and come up with something new, that is what separates an actor from an average performer. Anyone, all of us are performers.
Yeah.
Every teacher performs in school, every lawyer performs in court, etc., etc. We all are constantly performing.
Yeah.
But what separates the person who's performing for an audience, a specifically written work particularly, what happens then? He or she is also using her imagination all the time. Right. Everything is imaginary. The situations are imaginary. The place is imaginary. I mean, we may be sitting in a studio like this, but I mean, you know, I know that there is a camera out there, and I know that there are other people out there. Everything is imaginary. I have to trust my imagination more than I trust my eyes and ears, literally. And improvisation really helps to trigger imagination. And that is where it has a great use.
This thing also is there in stand-up comedy. So stand-up comedy में there are some comedians who look down upon crowd work. And जैसे आपने कहा कि improv shouldn't be like a ticketed event. Like अपनी practice के लिए कर लो, but उसको जाके ऐसे बेचो मत. So a lot of comedians what they do these days is कि वो बात करते हैं audience से, कहाँ से आए हो? अच्छा दिल्ली से हो, फिर वो दिल्ली पे जो मारेंगे and they charge let's say 1,000 rupees. So there is a comedian who Puneet Pania who called out the other comedians कि यार तुम कुछ मटेरियल तो लेके आओ. तुम हर बार जाके ये पूछते हो अच्छा तू कहाँ से है, अच्छा तू राजस्थान से है, फिर तू उस पर 4 जोक मार देगा, फिर तू ये मार देगा. वो बोल दिस इज नॉट कॉमेडी. सो दैट थिंग
दिस इज अ शॉर्टकट. एवरीवन लुक्स फॉर शॉर्टकट्स. हमारे यहाँ तो इट्स अ नेशनल ट्रेट. शॉर्टकट ढूंढो ना, जुगाड़ ढूंढो ना. अच्छी तरह से क्यों करने की ज़रूरत है. और ख़ास करके दिमाग तो मत ही इस्तेमाल करना, उसको बहुत बचा के रखना पड़ता है. अल्लाह मियाँ ने, भगवान ने जो दिया हुआ है उसको बहुत बहुत कीमती है, उसको संभाल के रखो, उसको इस्तेमाल मत करो. So this I cannot understand. I mean, I can't understand. मतलब आप जिस चीज़ की कमाते हो उसकी तरफ भी बेईमानी करोगे.
Makes sense. Which is some good depiction of theatre that you have seen in films. Like any films जहाँ पे कोई ऐसे theatre related events हमें देखने को मिलते हैं, या people playing playwrights or like doing plays in films.
I don't think I've seen any such film like that. But a film based on a play which remains true to the play as well as works as a film is Macbeth.
Yeah.
Joel Cohen or Ethan? कौन से Cohen की है? One of the two brothers. I'm not sure. Yeah. Joel, I think. His film.
Is it the Michael Fassbender one?
No. This is the one with Denzel Washington and
Frances
Frances McDormand.
The black and white.
The black and white.
Yeah, yes. It's the black and white one.
Yes. That is an extraordinary film. And it's an extraordinary dramatic event. I can buy into it as a play, I can buy into it as a film, and I can buy into it as a superb piece of writing. They have done a wonderful job. Yeah. And all the performances are so wonderful.
There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow and tomorrow.
Yeah.
बहुत ही मुझे अच्छा लगा.
Ma'am, what do you think of the adaptations of Vishal Bhardwaj sir जो वो शेक्सपियर की करते हैं? Which is your favorite?
Maqbool, definitely. I think it's the most successful and interesting in our context adaptation. And I love the way in which he used Shakespeare freely. You know, he wasn't weighed down by Shakespeare. You know, that's what happens. And in England, तो तौबा, बेचारों को नहीं करना चाहिए Shakespeare. They are so reverential towards it कि बिल्कुल इतना डल करते हैं वो लोग. हम लोग हर साल जब भी जाते हैं इंग्लैंड, लंदन, नसीर insists on seeing a Shakespeare and I fight tooth and nail. इतनी महंगी टिकटें खरीद के जाते हैं और हर बार दुखी होकर बाहर आते हैं. आधे में छोड़ के आते हैं ज़्यादातर, और फिर अगली बार भी जाते हैं वही आ बैल मुझे मार. So I find that very, very painful.
Like in India also?
I suppose so. मतलब I think we're extremely, there is a certain section of people in India that feel very possessive about Shakespeare and hate any changes made in that. Fortunately, Vishal was not making films for them. He was making the story that he wanted to make, and it rang a bell with many, many other people who may have never heard of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But didn't matter because, and that's what I like about Vishal's Shakespeare films. He doesn't take them seriously. I mean, he's not doing a literary number there.
Yeah.
He is telling a very interesting story, or as interesting as he can make it. And he's riffing on it. He's riffing on the original play. He's bringing in elements from wherever he wants. It's like a musician. That's his ability as a musician, you know, to go off in all kinds of directions, but still stay, you know, true to the sum. घूम घाम के वापस आ जाते हैं वो. That I think is one of his successes in the Shakespeare films that he has made.
It's particularly जितना मेरे को समझ रहा है the English people who are very stiff about.
हाँ यार, और हिंदुस्तानी अंग्रेज जो हैं बेचारे, ओहो, they are तो particularly uptight about Shakespeare. उनकी जागीर है ना. I remember we once did a production of Julius Caesar. Nasir directed it, and he has always felt, and I agree with him, that the second half of Caesar has very little to do with the first half. The first half moves like a superb dramatic piece, you know, dhar 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 dhar, Caesar is dead. उसके बाद the play just goes to pieces. It's almost as if कहाँ जाए, क्या करे, किसको center बनाए इस कहानी का, वैसा हो जाता है. So Nasir found a way to edit it and remove some characters and did his version of it. Tauba, how people bursoed on him. How dare you do this with Shakespeare? How dare you change a single word, a syllable? So that's how we are, I'm afraid.
Ma'am, which is that one emotion that fascinates you the most as an actor?
Anger and humor, both, I would think. Anger particularly because it's a very powerful emotion.
Yeah.
And it's a very effective also emotion for the audience. They love seeing an angry person rant.
Yeah.
But anger takes so many different forms. And all of us live with anger in various shades. And if you don't want to express only the larger, the broader, the more black and white stroke of anger, if you want to explore the other shades of anger, it's a less explored emotion in our part of the world.
Yeah.
In other parts of the world, it's explored much better.
I recently heard that people are the most sincere when they are angry. What do you think of that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, they are the most vulnerable also. Because they are saying things that they are, I mean, if those things are held against them later, it would be absolutely shameful at some point in their own lives.
Yeah.
It's hard to live with some of the things you say when you are angry. But that's for the people who don't get angry easily. There are some people who get angry very easily. For them, anger is just a way of blowing off some steam. वो भूल भी जाते हैं इतनी जल्दी ही. So, as I said, there are so many shades of anger and so many different, and now we are seeing so many of them. And our society today and where we are heading to is definitely going to be focusing or at least having to deal with this emotion in many more ways, starting from within the family. I can see much more anger within families now.
Yeah.
And much more expressed.
Yeah.
Earlier it must have been there, but it was all kept under the carpet. अब वो खुल के बाहर आ रहा है.
Yeah. It's reminding me of your Kapoor and Sons वाला scene. जब वो plumber आता है.
Yeah.
चल खड़ा जा निकल.
क्यों? बिल्कुल नहीं, तुम अपना काम करो, खत्म करके जाओ.
तू अभी उठ जा अभी.
बंद कर अपना ये फोन.
क्या हो गया? आज तो मेरे बिना ही शुरू हो गया.
Yeah. I mean, this is what we seem to be doing all the time.
Yeah.
It takes nothing to trigger a person. On the street, in your home, among your friends, किस तरह के conversations हो रहे हैं आजकल. और कितना उसमें गुस्सा और bitterness भरी हुई है. I mean, it is something that we need to think about as a society.
True, man. Yeah.
We have swung from this, सब कुछ बहुत सुंदर है, सब कुछ, our art always showed everything is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. कश्मीर भी सुंदर, औरत भी सुंदर, मर्द भी सुंदर, everything is wonderful, everything works out in the end. वो जो एक हमने दुनिया क्रिएट की थी हिंदी फिल्मों वाली या कोई भी पॉपुलर कल्चर वाली, फ्रैंकली, वो तो आज इफेक्टिव नहीं है. सबको झूठ दिख रही है वो. और अपनी जिंदगी का रिफ्लेक्शन क्या दिखे? एंगर. all our recent films that have done well have unfortunately really taken us in the pits of anger.
There is one thing, जैसे when I think of anger, और हम बात कर रहे थे the nuances in anger ना, मेरे को एक चीज़ बहुत fascinate करती है, like everything is right in the moment but one thing is putting you off, like the pet peeves. Like for me it's like the lights, so I can't stand white lights, I need every light to be yellow. So when there is a white light, it does something to me and I become dense, I become heavy, mood ही change हो जाता है. सो ये जो जैसे होता है ना, हम देखते हैं ना टॉम एंड जेरी में, वो जो स्क्रैचिंग की जो बोर्ड पे आवाज,
बोर्ड पे जो चौक की आवाज,
all those subtle nuanced things which can elevate your anger, like
yes, of course, but there's also the question of how much do you let it. At some point वो विवेक भी तो कहीं ना कहीं वो बुद्धि तो क्लिक इन होनी चाहिए ना. हम लोग ये मान के क्यों चलते हैं कि मेरा एंग्री होना जायज है. मुझे व्हाइट लाइट नहीं अच्छी लगती तो नहीं अच्छी लगती तो नहीं अच्छी लगती.
कुछ
अगर कल आप ऐसी सिचुएशन में हो, किसी छोटे से होटल रूम में ऑन द हाईवे, तो आपके रूम में व्हाइट ट्यूबलाइट ही होगी, तो आपको उसके साथ ही रहना पड़ेगा.
मैं एक मेरी पोर्टेबल लाइट कैरी करता हूँ.
ऑलराइट, जहाँ तक तुम ये कर सकते हो, तो तुम अपना पेट पीव उसको सहला रहे हो और कह रहे हो चल मेरे साथ आजा. तो तब जब तक तुम कर पाओगे करोगे. किसी दिन अगर नहीं हो पाएगा, then you'll just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And frankly, you will, you know.
Yeah, you will.
You will.
Do you meditate?
No, I mean, I don't think I can. I'm nowhere near meditation. Meditation तो बहुत दूर की बात है. जरा 1-2 सेकंड स्थिर हो जाऊं, कोई बहुत बड़ी है. And I love this very generalized use of the word meditate. No, I don't understand it. एक तो enough. But I do pranayam, which is according to Hatha Yoga, I mean the Ashtanga Yoga, it's a step way before you get anywhere close to meditation. That's just the ability to follow your breath. And to keep your breath make your breath do what you want it to do. Therefore, I suppose control, but control is a wrong word here, because you are following your breath and observing it and learning from it. So that is about, I mean, I'm beginning to get somewhere close to that. But I can't say I'm anywhere near meditate.
You've never tried it also, the guided meditation?
No, I haven't. No. I didn't feel like it.
Very nice. Because हमारे को तो इतना in the hustle culture there is so much pressure to meditate also. सब पीछे पड़े हैं, तुम meditate करो. वही like you said कि 2 सेकंड भी स्थिरता के मिल जाए, it's enough.
तो आप लोग बहुत सारे various intermediary states को meditation कह सकते
The
हैं.
meditative states, yeah.
Some, you know, कोई ओम कर रहा है, कोई Buddhist chanting कर रहे हैं. If it helps you to get your mind into some kind of stability, go for it. I mean, इसको लेबल चिपकाने की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं है.
Fair.
And जो भी नाम देना चाहो.
And आप Instagram पे नहीं हो, right?
नहीं, अभी नहीं.
इसलिए आप meditate, आपको ज़रूरत ही नहीं पड़ती है, हमें पड़ती है.
आपका तो काम भी Instagram वाला है ना.
Yeah, Instagram.
शुक्र है कि I was born when I was born.
Yeah. आप बहुत like उस rare like niche का part हो जो अभी भी actors में भी, because everyone else has also come because of pressure or whatever, the need to be relevant, सब आ रहे हैं.
मुझे भी अभी आना चाहिए. आई थिंक आई एम कम्प्लीटली बिकमिंग इररेलेवेंट, सो आई शुड डेफिनेटली थिंक अबाउट इंस्टाग्राम से रेलेवेंस कैसे मिलेगा मुझको. नहीं, कोई और ढूंढेंगे रास्ता. रेलेवेंट तो रहना है. किस तरह से रहूँगी आई डोंट नो, मगर बहुत हैं रास्ते. इंस्टाग्राम इज़ नॉट द ओनली वे. It's probably a way if I want to let the world know that I'm relevant. But if I'm not really concerned about that, then maybe I'll find other ways to be relevant.
Ma'am, which is that work of yours that you wish more people talked about?
Some of the plays that I've done, those hardly anyone has seen. Not among the people who talk about these things. But एडी BCAD वाली जो आप बात कह रहे थे, उसका एक उदाहरण, there was a play we did called Don Juan in Hell. It's written by George Bernard Shaw. It's not a play. It's one act from a 4-act play written by him.
Wow.
And that one act is about an hour and something. So आप सोच लो नाटक कितना लंबा था. But this little piece is a conversation. It's just a discussion between Don Juan, the great Casanova, the Lothario, who has seduced every woman he's ever met except one, Anna, who also is there. So there's a conversation between Don Juan, Anna's father, who killed Don Juan in a duel to avenge his daughter's honor, and the devil. And they've all got together in hell. They've all ended up in hell. And they're all having a conversation about the relative merits of heaven and hell and what it means, these things, heaven and hell, just the ideas of it. It's a fascinating discussion. I mean, literally, so many tube lights went off in my head, all white, not a single yellow one. All like, major moments of what was I thinking of until now? And about the man-woman relationship, about the way in which history has evolved, about the ideas of war and equality and, liberty, everything that we throw around in conversation, in discussion, college mein baith ke gappe marte waqt, all that is there. And it's there in the most exquisite language possible, with sharp characterization. It's a fascinating piece. And I did it when I was very young. I was about 25 or 26. We'd just gotten married. And it was really revelatory. And it was revelatory also because I realized how bad I was in it. I didn't realize that when I was performing it. Somebody recorded it on a cassette and just gave me the cassette. I don't know why they recorded it, but ऐसे ही, और वो मैंने सुना. And I was appalled by what I was sounding like. My English was bad, my speech was wrong, everything was wrong. And it really made me think and made me worry and made me work in a different direction. And I had to find a way to sort out these problems. And it took me a long time after that also. But this was the one play that opened my eyes in so many different ways. And of course, I would give my eye teeth to be able to do it again, because now I know what I can do and I know how to set all the mistakes right. So I would love to do it again. And it's a play that really needs to be heard. So I'm seriously thinking of ways in which we can do this. It really, really needs to be heard today. It's an extraordinary piece of writing, at least I feel that.
Yeah. We were discussing also I also want to particularly name some of your plays. जैसे मैं मंटो इस्मत हाजिर हो देखने, I had come. It was such a beautiful play, and that is one. I am assuming जो आप कह रहे हो कि people watch more of your plays. One of them would be this, right?
Yes. And another one, Dear Liar, again about George Bernard Shaw and another actress who he had a 40-year-old long relationship with, called Dear Liar. Absolutely fascinating again. इतने खूबसूरत words, इतने खूबसूरत moments in the play. तो ये सब चीज़ें तो बहुत कम लोग देखते हैं और बहुत कम जानते भी हैं. Not just in terms of my own performance, because I'm proud of my performance in Dear Liar, definitely, or Ismat Apa Ke Naam, for example. But apart from that, just because these plays are so eye-opening for people, even today. It really is. I wish one could share more of it, those. But
it was a great experience, ma'am. मैं जब आपका play देखने आया था ना, because we do these best of streams every month, best of January, best of everything. So that in that month's time, I talked in detail about it. It was such because I didn't know of her stories also. So through that, I was also getting to know Ismat Chughtai. So बहुत अच्छा experience था मैम वो. And मैं अभी किताबों पे आना चाहूँगा. उससे पहले just like my last question about films. When we think of Ratna Bhattaksha, which are some films that which are a part of your identity? If you want to know me, these are some of the films that have influenced you.
Definitely Kapoor and Sons would be one of them. Lipstick Under My Burqa
Yeah.
would be one of them. Dhak Dhak recently
Yeah.
would be one of them. What else?
Also, the films that you love, like the films like that have been an inspiration to you.
My own films, you mean?
No.
Generally,
In
films.
general.
No, let's talk first about the things that I have done,
Yeah.
which I am proud of, and which I would like to,
Absolutely.
which I think reflect me and my abilities, both as a person and as an actress, to some extent. Gujarati film I did. We shot it in 22. It was released last year. It was called Kutch Express, and it's a very charming and very sweet film. But because it's Gujarati, hardly ever anyone ever saw it, which is a pity, because it is a really sweet film. And what was interesting for me was that I did a film in Gujarati for the first time in a language that is actually my mother's language. It's the language that I first heard when I was growing up, the language which I probably first spoke, because my mother's family was very close by. So I would spend a lot of my time in their home. तो गुजराती ही बोलते थे हम. माई पंजाबी फादर लर्न हाउ टू स्पीक गुजराती. तो उस बहाने मैं पंजाबी नहीं सीख पाई, मगर गुजराती वॉज एंड इन अ वे इज़ द लैंग्वेज आई थिंक इन सम कॉन्टेक्स्ट्स. जैसे अगर मुझे गिनती करनी है तो मेरी गिनती गुजराती में शुरू होती है, एंड देन हैव टू, बिकॉज आफ्टर अ पॉइंट आई लूज काउंट, देन हैव टू शिफ्ट टू इंग्लिश. बट इट वॉज सच अ प्लेजर एक्टिंग इन दैट लैंग्वेज. I really enjoyed it. मुझे डर था कि will I be able to feel comfortable, considering I've not acted in Gujarati, not very much and not for a very long time. घर में बोलना वो एक बात है, मगर accent के साथ और एक दूसरे character की ज़बान बोलना दूसरी बात है. But I was so surprised by how easily I slipped into it. It was just as if, in a strange way, my mother had entered into me, and I was being able to give the kind of performance that she would have been pleased with, but not quite the way she did it. Because I used to think that she does a lot of her work, and she was forced to do a lot of her work in a very melodramatic way, and in the films particularly.
Yeah.
But I know that my mother was a much more nuanced actor than she got a chance to display. तो वो melodramatic माँ नहीं, वो वाली unusual crazy माँ, उसको मैं somehow channelize कर सकी. And it was a really beautiful experience. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Wow.
So, yep, that is the one thing I wish people see.
Yeah. Where can we see it, ma'am?
I think it's on Shemaru. And there is a Hindi dubbed version as well.
But are you okay, people watching the dubbed version?
Yes, if they prefer it, but if you can read subtitles.
Have you done the?
Yes, we've done.
Nice,
we've
nice.
all done our dubbing. So, but if you can see the
the
original with subtitles, that would be better. But actually, it won't make any real difference. What I found really unusual in that was the way in which the dialogue was constructed. Very interestingly done. So Gujarati has a tendency towards going towards very flowery dialogue.
Yeah.
They love it. हर चीज़ ऐसे declamation लगनी चाहिए.
Yeah.
But the writer was able to convert it into actual conversation.
Wow.
In a very nice way. So that's what I really enjoyed about that film.
Now, ma'am, I want to talk to you about books. Abhi, what are you reading currently?
I always have one detective story of some kind. कोई ना कोई एक चल रही होती है साइड पे. I love it. Every kind. चाहे आर्थर कॉनन डॉयल हो, चाहे एगाथा क्रिस्टी हो, चाहे नए राइटर्स हों. I find that is a very safe area for me. I like it because I know it will be solved at the end. I love that sense कि बहुत ज़्यादा loose ends नहीं होंगे. Life में तो loose ends ही loose ends हैं. तो यहाँ everything gets neatly tied up. I love that. So that. And I usually have something humorous also by my bedside, preferably P.G. Woodhouse, who's just my go-to. Anytime I feel unhappy, depressed, very happy, elated, anything, for any mood, PG has something for you. But apart from that, I've been reading some. I mean, I know I have to read a lot of things. I don't read fiction very easily these days somehow. मुझे fiction से घबराहट होती है आजकल somehow कि दूसरों के problems में engage करना एक और बोझ सा लगता है. And I do get very deeply involved in a story when I'm reading it.
Yeah.
So I try to sort of play safe. तो अभी क्या पढ़ा मैंने fiction में? ये एक और मसला है. I tend to forget also very quickly. They make a big impact on me while I'm reading something, but then it quickly sort of slips away. I know what I was reading just recently. Saif Mahmood's Beloved Delhi. I found that really beautiful. I mean, it was sort of fiction because he's telling the story of Delhi through 7 or 8 of its most wonderful poets.
Yeah.
And how similar the situation was post 1857, post the revolt. What happened to Delhi and what happened to the mood of Delhi. And जैसे पूरी काया पलट हुई दिल्ली की, वो आज भी दिल्ली की वो जो काया पलट हुई है, उसके बीच में भी हुई थी.
Yeah.
It's so much like these periods of great upheaval and what it does to the people who are creating something at a time like that. And how it reflects in their work. I mean, how much pain is reflected in the work of Ghalib, for example, or Dard, or I mean, there are so many poets that I just didn't know anything about. So it was an absolutely wonderful introduction to and a literal opening out of my eyes and my mind. I really enjoyed that.
आपसे एक चीज़ पूछनी है मेरे को. डू यू रिमेम्बर व्हाट योर कैरेक्टर वाज रीडिंग इन जाने तू या जाने ना?
It was one of those feminist books, right?
Yeah.
The Second Sex, or
मैंने उसकी I'll show it to you. The one is the beauty.
Naomi Wolf, the beauty myth.
Yeah, and the other one is historian. Like this is.
Yeah, Kostova. Okay.
Yeah.
Intellectual सब ऐसा पढ़ते हैं. I was a semi-intellectual in that one, but I had a great line. फोन पे बेटा, फोन पे.
फर्दर स्टडीज या सोचा नहीं आंटी. कॉलेज के 5 साल कहाँ निकल गए पता ही नहीं चला.
फोन पे बेटा, फोन पे. I love that line.
Yeah. मेरे को मैम ये बताइए कि if someone wants to get into plays, मैं plays like पढ़ने के लिए like a collection of plays, which would be some collections that you would recommend?
अगर अंग्रेजी में पढ़ना चाह रहे हो तो George Bernard Shaw is a very good entry point. You see, a lot of plays come alive when they are performed. पढ़ने में इतना मज़ा नहीं आता.
Right.
Because lot of it is left unsaid. Actors को उसमें रंग भरना बाकी है. ये sort of outline सी होती है कई बार, emotionally खास करके. Ideas सारे होते हैं, but emotionally एक outline ही होती है. So that can be a problem. जैसे for example, Waiting for Godot. अगर आप वो पढ़ने की कोशिश करेंगे, जैसा कि शायद आपने इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के क्लास में, कॉलेज में शायद आपके सिर पे ये थोपा गया होगा, it will be a very, very difficult exercise for you to read it. But as soon as you see it on stage, a play like that comes alive. Whereas plays by Shaw don't suffer from that problem.
Interesting.
So you can read the play as a play, and then you can fill in your own details. As you're reading, as a reader. Plays by Chekhov. A lot of the plays of that period, the early naturalists and the early 20th century into the mid and late 20th century, coming all the way down to Harold Pinter, is interesting to read, more difficult, but you can still read him. Tom Stoppard is great fun to read because ideas बहुत हैं उसमें. But there are some plays that just depend so much on the performance कि उसमें पढ़ने में मज़ा नहीं आएगा. But a few of the plays I can happily recommend is in terms of ideas again. I'm always blown away with that. Girish Karnad's Hayavadan, his Tughlaq, Tendulkar's plays. But Tendulkar's plays are better to see in performance. Somehow they come alive better in performance. But certainly Ghanshiram Kotwal has that. In performance it became another thing altogether. Whereas Sakharam Binder is something you can still read as a play. So some of Tendulkar, definitely. Then something like Ashad Ka Ek Din, Mohan Rakesh. Another interesting play. I mean, verbose and slightly overwritten. उस ज़माने में जैसे 70s में लिखे जाते थे. But still very, very interesting. And Inherit the Wind. If you come across that, you should definitely read it. It's a absolutely stunning play just to read.
Yeah. मैम आई रियली लाइक दिस ऑथर रे ब्रैडबेरी. उनके एक लेक्चर में उन्होंने एक चीज़ बोली थी कि जब भी जीवन में मौका मिले ना, जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ के जितने एसेज है ना
पढ़ो. बिल्कुल. सत्यदेव दुबे ये कहता था.
अच्छा.
एंड इस तरह से वो जबान साफ करवाता था. मेरे लिए तो ही वुड मेक मी रीड शॉज प्रेफिस आउट अलाउड. शॉज स्टेज इंस्ट्रक्शंस. Fabulous. I mean, his stage instructions are hilarious sometimes. You should read his plays only just to read his stage instructions. जिस तरह से चीज़ें describe करते हैं, कमाल की. So, yes, definitely. And speech के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. To clear up English speech. His, because he's amazing because he writes and the way he punctuates his writing is exactly where you would need to take a breath if you're reading it aloud.
Yeah.
It's quite fascinating. His prefaces, all his prose work is fabulous to read. Or Oscar Wilde, again, great fun to read.
Yeah. Oh, I remember last time when you came on Chalchitra for the first time, when you were doing an episode with Vani, you were reading this book, Carlo Rovelli's.
Yes, the 7 something of physics.
Yes. He's a great.
What a fabulous book that was.
Yeah.
Again, totally eye-opening.
Yeah.
I was not terribly good at science or anything when I was in school, and not in math at all. But having grown up, I find both math and science extraordinarily interesting to read about. And now people are writing about science in a way that makes sense to a layperson like me.
Yeah.
I find that absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
बहुत मजा आता है मुझे.
I remember I was reading his other book, Reality is not what it seems like or something. His like very good. So मेरे को लगता है उनकी बहुत अच्छी स्ट्रेंथ ये है कि डर लगता है जब आप साइंस या कोई ऐसी चीज़ इन जनरल पढ़ते हो ना, वो जब बताते हैं डर नहीं लगता.
Yeah. And it becomes like an adventure.
Yes.
Something similar David Attenborough does.
Yeah.
With the entire natural world.
Yes.
He takes you by the hand and like a friend he leads you into it.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic. I love reading him.
Yeah.
Or Stephen Jay Gould or any of these people who are writing about plant life at the moment. That secret life of trees. Absolutely. I can't remember the name of the writer. Fabulous.
Yeah.
It just opens your eyes to, I look at trees in a different way now. Thank heavens that people are writing books in this manner. Whether it's Ramchandra Guha who's making history, or Dalrymple who makes history so accessible to all of us. Or anybody who makes science and math. I'm finding that so fascinating. I have a couple of friends who often recommend books on math to me, and I don't understand the math part of it all that much, but just the way in which it can explain life to you, and the way in which and the people that have thought like this and spent entire lifetimes looking for the solution to one formula. Imagine your whole life is absorbed in that kind. Ooh, what must it be like? I find that fascinating. इस तरह का, वो जो अर्जुन की आँख वाली बात. बट ये अर्जुन की आँख वाली बात में एक बहुत अच्छी, और मुझे उसका एक अलग वर्जन मैंने कहीं पढ़ा. अगेन आई कांट रिमेंबर द नेम ऑफ दैट बुक. इट्स अ बुक रिटन बाय Gond painter.
Okay.
And illustrated by him also. It's not Bajju Sham, I think, and it's not Jangar Sham, obviously, but it's a book about his journey into becoming a painter. And he talks about it कि अर्जुन की आँख सब लोग बोलते हैं कि एक ही लक्ष्य होना चाहिए और उसी लक्ष्य पे ध्यान होना चाहिए और इतना फोकस होना चाहिए, मगर अर्जुन ने कितना कुछ मिस आउट कर दिया। इतना फोकस करने में पूरी दुनिया, जो इतना सुंदर जंगल था उसके आसपास, वो तो देखा ही नहीं उसने, और उसके आसपास जो लोग थे उसके साथ भी कुछ नहीं उनका जम पाया। वो क्या हुआ कि वो एक लक्ष्य को फॉलो करने में आप जो इतना सब कुछ खो देते हैं, was it worth it finally for Arjun? It just turned this whole argument about लक्ष्य एक होना चाहिए, वो एक बर्ड की आंख वगैरह, suddenly it made me look at that whole picture in a different way.
Wow.
It was a beautiful moment.
Such a,
Epiphany type of thing.
Epiphany type, yeah. Has there been any moments? This is actually a question I saw Anupama Chopra ask in one of the interviews. I loved this question. Have you ever fallen out of love with what you do?
No, not at all. On the contrary, I still feel I'm in the process of falling more in love.
कोई ऐसा दिन ही नहीं आता.
नहीं, I mean, if you are stuck in the middle of some rotten television serial, तो definitely लगता है कि यार ये क्यों करना पड़ रहा है. But once you are there, then the flow of the thing, you have got to be alive and present. So उसमें फिर निकल जाती है बात, इतना बोझ नहीं लगता. मगर मैंने उतना काम किया नहीं है. ये बात तुम अगर किसी एवरेज टीवी एक्टर को पूछो, जो रोज रोज उठ करके वही काम करने और वही बोरिंग चीज और वही दिमाग इस्तेमाल किए बगैर काम करने में जो जिसका दिन बीतता है, उससे पूछो तो कोई और जवाब मिलेगा आपको. मगर मेरा I've somehow managed to miss that extreme boredom of doing something without any kind of intellectual or emotional connection. मेरा कुछ ना कुछ connection बन जाता है, मैं बना लेती हूँ. अब तक तो बना पाई हूँ.
Wow. And ma'am, do you have any podcast recommendations? Do you listen to podcasts?
I haven't. I'm just getting the hang of it, ek to. And my son keeps sending me recommendations, so I listen to some of that. He's very much very excited about the Dalrymple podcasts. So I have been listening to some of those. But I have to say, मैंने अभी तक उसमें कुछ ज़्यादा ध्यान दिया नहीं. But it is a very, very interesting
Absolutely.
world.
Yeah.
Because it suddenly opens out things in a way that film and television are unable to do.
Yeah.
Which old radio used to do.
Absolutely.
And I've always felt कि जो रेडियो का potential है वो फिल्म टेलीविजन में हम लोग भूल गए हैं. So this new avatar of radio, the podcast, मुझे ये बहुत मजे का लग रहा है.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody sent me a podcast about a costume director, a very famous costume director, costume designer for films, Jenny Bevan, and she's talking about her experiences. So there's this podcast about people, the technicians who are involved in filmmaking.
Wow.
And they are talking about their lives. So the people who are asking questions are also from the industry and have worked extensively in the industry. And they're talking to people who are doing all kinds of things, from producing to, to costume set, camera work, writing, everything. So it's a look from the other side.
Yeah.
I find that very wonderful.
And I love these rabbit holes कि आप costume design में कहीं घुस गए या कोई एक ऐसी particular सी चीज जिसको लेके आप ढूंढ रहे थे, अरे यार 10 लोग और हैं जो इसके बारे में आपसे. It's beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
I recently did an episode with Varun Grover and he said this line, the future belongs to nerds. Like any person who can be nerdy about anything, the future is there. And I loved it, what he said, because कि ये जो छोटे छोटे हमारे obsessions होते हैं कि घुस जाओ यार इसमें कि इन्होंने ये फिल्म कौन से like लेंस पे शूट किया, उस पे कोई podcast होगा, और like it's just very fascinating.
जो पुराने ज़माने में स्टैम्प कलेक्शन होता था ना, वही I mean the spring is the same, कि something that's yours, something that has no real relevance to what you're going to do and earn a living out of or anything. Hobby है ये मेरी एक. So that idea of feeding your soul with something more than what is required for survival.
Yeah.
I think that's a fascinating and a long-lasting need of human beings.
Yeah.
Maybe this fits in with that.
Absolutely. And ma'am, there are a lot of actors जो धीरे-धीरे who are coming on YouTube, starting their own podcast. Like Samantha Ruth Prabhu started her own podcast on health. So it's
That's right.
because I think where she's talking about autoimmune disease and everything कि
Correct.
जो अभी stress levels हैं जिनकी बात नहीं हो रही कि कैसे वो affect करे. It's a fabulous podcast.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, everyone has realized that nobody out there is going to give you answers.
Yeah.
We are going to have to find the answers on our own.
Yeah.
So एक दूसरे का हाथ पकड़ के सब चल रहे हैं.
Yeah.
It's a very useful thing. उसका एक flip side भी है
Yeah.
कि अभी ना ऐरा गैरा नत्थु कैरा सबको mental disease हुए हैं, health issues हो गए. And this self-diagnosis that everyone seems to be doing.
Yeah.
It's a bit, everyone's OCD, everyone's ADD, and these
Yeah.
words are just thrown about as if, they are just,
Particularly these two, ये ADHD वाला और OCD वाला कि सफाई नहीं हुई तो मेरे को तो OCD है क्या ऐसे क्यों रखा हुआ है. बहुत ज़्यादा है इन दोनों चीज़ों का.
yes. And, well, एक दूसरे से बात करके, I mean, if that gives you some relief and some help out of that situation, then it's worth it, I'm sure. But if it just keeps you in that situation and keeps you feeling कि हाँ और लोग भी मेरे जैसे हैं.
Yeah. It's also the flip side to it कि हाँ मेरे को तो ये है अब इसलिए I can't do something.
ये लेबलिंग का ज़माना जो हो गया है ना, कौन सी जॉनर की बुक लिखी है आपने, कौन सी जॉनर की पिक्चर, और जॉनर भी नहीं बोलते, प्रॉपर्ली फ्रेंच प्रोनाउंस करना है तो प्रॉपर्ली करो, जानर क्यों बोलते हो फिर आपका उसको, राइट? मगर ये कांस्टेंट लेबलिंग, हर चीज़ पे एक लेबल चिपका देते, मैं तो ऐसी हूँ, वो तो वैसा है. That was one of the first things that was told to me when I began to learn how to act and really think about it properly. Please don't put any labels on your characters. This character is kind, this character is angry, this character is ugly. Nahi! That's the worst way to go about understanding a character and portraying it. You're putting the character in a box. Here, everyone's putting themselves in a box.
Yeah.
Kyun? I don't know. But I mean, I can see that the kind of things young people are dealing with today are really quite mind-boggling. Certainly for me, I can't imagine living like this. To be constantly aware of what others are thinking and saying and feeling about you. To constantly have to put out a face to meet the faces of the world. वो line थी ना in one of the Beatles songs. She wears a face to meet the faces that she will meet.
Oh, dude.
So constantly, everyone is doing that. Everyone knows the pitfalls, but everyone goes ahead and does it. I just can't stop it. So really, it is a major issue, and it will be something that you guys will have to solve as you go along, and you will have to do it.
Yeah.
A person my age doesn't even know where to start addressing the issue.
Yeah.
मैं क्या आपको advice दूँ?
Yeah.
Whatever I say will sound silly because my frame of reference is so different now from your frame of reference. The only thing we can do is to say मेरे लिए ऐसा हुआ था. अगर आपको इसमें से कुछ रेफरेंस काम आए तो आप यूज कर लो. मैंने कल शाम आनंद पटवर्धन की फिल्म देखी, अभी जो उन्होंने बनाई है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, अबाउट हिज पेरेंट्स एंड अबाउट हिज फैमिली, his uncles who were involved in the freedom struggle. Achyut Patwardhan and Rao Saheb Patwardhan. Now, it's a period that's fascinating. These people are people I've heard about, but they now seem to be dreams. कि people actually did this. इस तरह की जिंदगी जी पाए लोग. And his parents are very interesting individuals. And he's looking at it with a very interesting eye. Now, does this kind of thing have any relevance for today? I mean, in an obvious sense, yes. पुराने ज़माने की बातें क्यों करते जा रहे हो? मगर I really feel कि ये था. आपको लगेगा कि ये आपके लिए नहीं है, मगर इसमें से कुछ ऐसा है जो आप पिकअप कर पाओगे
100%.
और आप अपनी ज़िंदगी में इस्तेमाल कर पाओगे.
100%.
जो दूसरों के एक्सपीरियंसेस है उनके कंधे पे आप खड़े हो पाओगे. सो दैट्स ऑल वी कैन डू नाउ, आई फील. जस्ट टू से कि ये था. आपको परोस रहे हैं, खाना चाहते हो खा लो, नहीं तो इसमें से कुछ और बनाओ.
It's a beautiful thought. No, I am really introspecting आपने, because आपने कहा कि whatever you say will sound silly, but it's bang on. जो आपकी read है about.
हाँ, but it's this kind of मोटा मोटा ऊपर की बात ना.
हाँ.
I can't help you in specifics.
Yes.
मैं तुमको क्या बताऊं कि Instagram से निकल जाओ, तुम्हारा धंधा कैसे चलेगा? what can I tell you about how to deal with the tension that social media is putting you into?
Right.
Except to say do yoga. Not meditate. Not that number.
मेरे को आपसे कुछ ट्रैवल एंड फूड रिकमेंडेशन देनी है. विच आर सम ऑफ योर फेवरेट प्लेसेस इन द वर्ल्ड दैट यू हैव बीन टू?
Morocco would be one of them.
नाइस.
Absolutely beautiful. बहुत मज़ा आया, and it's a fascinating country. Changes every few 100 kilometers like our own country. Of course, India tops the list in terms of the variety and the constant क्या कहते हैं, assault on your senses and in every other way. India is the most exciting place, I suppose, to travel in. Also the most difficult in some ways.
Yeah.
For us in particular, because this selfie culture has just driven us indoors.
Yeah.
बाहर निकलने में डर लगता है, सचमुच.
Yeah.
And it's so unpleasant to have to keep just saying no all day long, and
Yeah.
it's not nice. So unfortunately हमारे अपने देश में घूमना फिरना कम हो गया है.
Crazy.
But for our work takes us to all kinds of places. So that's another wonderful thing. I went to Uzbekistan. Again, a very fascinating place as a holiday place and a place to visit just to see how different things can be. Japan.
Wow.
The toilets in Japan. I would go back and do a proper PhD on the toilets
Ma'am,
in Japan.
have you seen Perfect Days?
No,
The latest Wim Wenders film.
नहीं देखी मैंने.
So it's about the toilet project in like Japan. It's about a guy.
I've got to see this.
Ma'am, you have to see that film. It's about a toilet cleaner who is really happy in his life. Weekends पे जाके वो किताबें पढ़ता है, म्यूजिक लेता है, एंड और उन्होंने एक नया टॉयलेट प्रोजेक्ट चालू किया कि 7 स्टार 10 स्टार होटल के लेवल के टॉयलेट्स हैं वहाँ पे. एक आई डोंट रिमेंबर द नेम ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट. सो विम वेंडर्स वेंट एंड सॉ इट. उसको बुलाया गया, आप ये देखो, एंड ही इज लाइक मैं तो पिक्चर बना रहा हूँ इस पे. एंड ही
I would do that. I can, and ये तो वो टॉप लेवल के भी टॉयलेट्स नहीं. In a fish market, the kind of toilet I saw in a fish market when the day had just ended. उसके बाद मुझे जाना था बाथरूम, तो मैंने कहा यहाँ तो कैसे जाऊँगी. So जब जाना तो था तो किसी ना किसी तरह नाक पकड़ के पहुँच गए बाथरूम के पास. But not necessary. नाक पकड़ने की कोई ज़रूरत ही नहीं थी. Amazingly clean, simple, basic idea. A tub of water embedded in the floor. You have to walk through it.
वाह.
तो आपका पैर वैसे ही साफ हो जाएगा. उसके बाद एक क्लीन करने के लिए स्ट्रिप ऑफ वो है, उस पे से आप चल के अंदर जाओगे, साफ ही हो गए आपके काम. जो अब हमारे गुरुद्वारों वगैरह में भी होता है ना, वो जैसा पैर जहाँ धोने ही है कंपल्सरी, वैसा. एंड दैट्स इट. And they are able to maintain clean. In one of these Airbnb places we were staying in, there's a flush tank with a tap on top and a hole in the top of the flush tank. You wash your hands, water collects, you flush it. Done. Use of grey water.
How?
I mean, such wonderful, simple, brilliant ideas. I was fascinated by the toilets of Japan.
Yeah.
Really. But Japan is quite an extraordinary place. And I mean, I would love to, I don't know if you can understand a place like Japan. Like, I don't suppose you can understand India. कोई बाहर से आकर के कहे कि मैं तो इंडिया समझने आया हूँ, पागल ही हो जाए वो. तो जापान भी वैसा ही कुछ है. Because it's a place of such contrasts.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. आई एम तो फैसिनेटेड, उनके पेड़ों से बहुत फैसिनेटेड हूँ. चेरी ब्लॉसम्स.
Cherry blossom तो ठीक है, बहुत खूबसूरत है, but you've seen one cherry blossom, you've seen them all. But you walk into any of their gardens and the sophistication of design in everything is exquisite. और फिर वहाँ से sophistication से मुड़ के pan to Hello Kitty. How do they live with these two contrasts right in front of them like that? I just love it. Amazing. Hello Kitty की वो पागल सी बिल्ली. It's amazing. Fabulous.
They recently got appointed a minister of loneliness, I think. There is a minister of loneliness there. And वहाँ पे कुछ ऐसा भी है कि if in restaurants you are having food by yourself, they'll keep a teddy bear in front of you और वो
Hello Kitty.
ऐसी बहुत सारी उनकी चीज़ें। या सो हमने जापान की बात कर ली, मोरक्को, इंडिया, एनी अदर प्लेस। मैम आपने एक बात बोली कि आपको विंटर्स में लंदन डिप्रेसिंग लगा, तो माई थिंग इज़ थोड़ा उल्टा। मेरे को विंटर्स में चीज़ें बहुत पसंद आती है। मेरे को सूरज डिप्रेसिंग लगता है।
हो सकता है।
या सो आई वाज लाइक थिंकिंग कि यार ये इज इट लाइक यूनिवर्सल कि लंदन डिप्रेसिंग ही होगा विंटर्स में?
अब तो विंटर भी नहीं रहा बेचारों का।
हाँ।
तो एक वो प्रॉब्लम हो गई, मगर ऑल्सो थिंग्स हैव चेंज्ड। Everything buzzes all around the year now, all over the world, at least in the big cities.
राइट।
You know, it's just कोई सीजन का ही फर्क नहीं पड़ता more or less, एक्सेप्ट कपड़े जो पहनते हैं लोग,
Right.
उसमें फर्क पड़ता है थोड़ा बहुत। बाकी तो हर चीज अवेलेबल ऑल ईयर राउंड, ऐसा हो गया। बट इन दोज डेज 77, 4:30 बजे अंधेरा मीन 4:30 बजे अंधेरा। And then it becomes bleak. And they used to have these sodium vapor lamps on the streets. So that yellow light was a killer yellow light. It turned your face grey. So you were walking on the street and you'd see all these grey faces walk by, you know. You were like in Zombieland. And the British are not very pleasant. When they're returning from work, I suppose nobody is very pleasant. But उनके तो जो लंबे चेहरे और वो ठंड और वो grey faces, it was so depressing. But that was then. अब ऐसा नहीं लगता. I've been in London in the winter. It's not so bad anymore.
सो व्हाट लाइक माय पॉइंट इज, मेरे को ग्लूमी चीज़ें बहुत खुश करती हैं।
हाँ।
मेलिंकोलिया और व्हाटएवर ना, लेकिन जैसे आपने ये जो इमेजरी भी बोली ना, द ग्रे फेसेस एंड एवरीथिंग, आई एम लाइक डूड,
Yeah. Yeah.
ब्यूटीफुल।
Absolutely. I can see that. I can see that.
Ma'am, anything that you purchased recently for less than 10,000 rupees which you would recommend? कि 10,000 से कम की कोई एक चीज़ worthwhile an investment जो आपको लगे?
Investment.
नहीं, मतलब कोई भी चीज़, it can be a cup, it can be shoes, plants, anything.
I buy everything under 5,000 rupees. I don't like spending more money. I am Monisha actually, you know. And clothes, I refuse to spend more than 10 on the outside, on things that I buy. I don't think it's right. But what have I bought recently which I really, really feel is a worthwhile recommendation? Oops, I haven't bought anything for a long. But I buy sarees whenever I find that I come across something really unusual. I love textile, and I really feel that what we have in India from the point of view of textiles is just extraordinary. We are going to lose it in maybe a generation. And it's being bastardized so quickly that only the design will stay, all the craft behind that design will disappear. And that just kills me. That's the only place where I'm willing to spend more than 10,000 if it's a handmade, handloom sari or fabric or anything. There I feel here is something that has been done with the kind of attention to detail and with physical involvement of human beings and their hands, which needs respect. So there I'm happy to spend. But most other things, I'm got completely out of my shopping phase.
Yeah,
I like to buy furniture once in a while,
yeah.
but now मेरे पास जगह ही नहीं रखने की, so that's out. And I like to buy handloom fabric or sarees whenever I can. What else can I say? No, I haven't bought anything that I can recommend happily.
Got it. Are you a foodie?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any food recommendations? Which are your favorite places in Mumbai?
For South Indian food, only and only King Circle, either Madras Cafe or in the Matunga market there are a couple of places. Ramashray. These are the only two places where I would eat South Indian food. I don't like eating anywhere else, except if I'm in the South. That's a different thing. I like the khalis taste, you know, the more traditional, typical tastes that I remember from my childhood. I'd love to have a good Gujarati thali anytime, but I'm not finding it anywhere. So I beg and plead to my friends who are Gujaratis, who still have mothers cooking in their homes, and I say, "Mujhe khana khila do, please." I love good Punjabi food because that's very much part of my growing up. So I go to my Chachi ji's house for that. Nowhere else. In a restaurant, no. But where innovation is concerned, in Bombay Canteen is my one very favorite place, and O Pedro is another one. I like what they do with food. I love good Chinese food, but I'm finding it harder and harder to get it. It's become this generalized pan-Asian, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So I can take that or leave that. And what else? A good Italian meal would be nice, but wo bhi aajkal, it's not much fun.
Yeah.
I'm vegetarian, so that limits my choice immediately.
Do you order in food like in
Off and on. Not very often, but we do.
Yeah. And आपने कहा कि you go to your chachi's place for Punjabi food. What particularly in that Punjabi food do you enjoy the most?
Anything she makes, but aloo ki sabzi and moong ki dal, my favorites. And the way she makes them.
Nice.
I have to go to Delhi all the way to do it, but I love it.
And do you have a sweet tooth?
Not really. Strangely, I'm developing one now that I'm older. I hated sweets when I was younger, but now I'm developing a sweet tooth, so I like it. Gulab jamun is my favorite.
Oh,
Absolutely favorite.
how lovely, ma'am. मैम मेरे को बहुत सारी recommendations मिली आज आपसे. Is there anything that I did not talk about that you would like to talk about?
We didn't speak much about music, but I'm not a very adventurous music consumer. I go by what I'm told. My kids recommend a lot to me, and friends recommend, and things like that. Something I read about. I'm not very much clued in about what's happening around, but I'm getting more and more interested in Hindustani classical music.
Nice.
So that is an whole area, and it's like a subculture that I don't know much about, and which fascinates me greatly, because it's a subculture that's focused so firmly and intensely on expertise of a skill, mastering the skill, and then letting yourself free. I love that thought.
Yeah.
That you spend your entire life really focused on getting it right perfectly in one particular way, and then you let yourself go. And there is so much variety in it. I didn't realize. I'm discovering all of that. I'm finding that very fascinating.
What's your search word like? Like, what do you search for it? अगर मेरे को
Sometimes for a rag, if I've been reading about or thinking about, or something has caught my attention. So that sometimes a singer, like when Prabha Atre passed away recently. So suddenly I realized I haven't heard her for ages. Or Rashid Khan passed away recently, and suddenly I felt like listening to more of their things. And I think I prefer singing more than instrumental. I like the vocalists more.
Yeah.
But I can't say I'm very clued in or anything. I mean, I'm still learning about it. But I'm finding it fascinating.
Yeah. How do you respond to techno music?
Interestingly, it can set you into a trance. It has a sense of repetition which really can get you going if you're in a particular kind of mood. But then Qawwali also does the same thing.
Yeah.
I think I'd go for the Qawwali rather than the trance.
Yeah. Lovely, ma'am. बहुत अच्छी recommendations मिली. Did you have fun? आपको
Yes.
Yeah.
At least these are questions nobody has asked me before, so it's fun.
And ma'am, before we wrap this, like if you can ask all your fans who will watch this to subscribe to Chalchitra Talks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do subscribe. They have interesting conversations, and they ask interesting questions. And who doesn't like to be told what to do? वो बता रहे हैं कौन सी पिक्चर देखो, कौन सी किताब पढ़ो, कौन सा म्यूजिक सुनो, सुन लो, अच्छा है.
You guys, so I hope you liked the episode. अगर आपने episode यहाँ तक देखा है, so use the hashtag Monisha in the comments. And हमें ये भी बताइए आपके favorite parts कौन से थे इस episode में. This is now the 6th episode of The Longest Interview. An audio format of all these episodes will be out on Audible very soon. I hope you are loving this season. हमें बताइए आपके favorite episodes कौन से हैं and और कौन से guests को आप इस show पे देखना चाहेंगे. Do tell me in comments and I'll be back with another episode on Chalchitra Talks.